I was just vegetarian. I knew people in high school who were vegan, and they didn't even really have to say anything, just by being there and as vegans. And I would say, oh, well, to identify, I would say, oh, I'm vegetarian, and immediately would be like, oh, something's not, that doesn't really, like, I knew something was not quite there with that. So my freshman year of college, presumably just as a result of being out, having full food autonomy and whatnot, kind of quietly went vegan. When I was first vegetarian, I was what you would call a welfarist. I thought that hunting was okay because the animal lived a happy life, and I said that if the system of animal use, which is not a word or phrase I would have ever used at that time, was different or more humane, I would have said that I was opposed only to factory farming. To only speak for myself and maybe the circle that I represent, it's endearing. Most, if not, I mean, the huge majority of vegans were vegetarian first. So yes, we see it as, somewhere on the way to somewhere else. I seek out every possible moment in my daily life that I can elevate the issue of animal exploitation in the conversations that I'm having. I've taken what's called the Liberation Pledge, which is symbolized by this fork I'm wearing on my wrist, which states that not only will I never publicly pledge not to consume animals or their byproducts, but to never sit at a table where animals are being consumed, because doing so would be to implicitly condone violence that I in no way condone. People, tend to ascribe the word militant. I mean, it's a farcical misappropriation of the term. But yeah, I'm a proudly vocal animal advocate. Speaking specifically about the Liberation Pledge, I would disclose long in advance of actually being at a dinner table with someone that I don't sit at tables with the bodies of animals. So if I went to dinner with someone and they chose to eat an animal's body, I would walk up and leave, because they obviously would have known that that was my position, and that would be hugely disrespectful both to me and obviously to the animal. A lot of vegans in Boulder who are plant-based primarily for health or environmental reasons. There's nothing wrong with environmentalism, but veganism is a stance against the use of animals. So arguably, really, to be what is vegan means that you're vegan for animal rights. Society operates, on trends. And on some level, I can understand why it's hard to think that veganism becoming trendy or fatty would be a bad thing. Of course, it elevates the understanding. If there's people who are rigorously standing behind them and trying to help people who become interested in the word veganism gain an understanding of what that actually means and gaining an understanding of the ideas driving it, because most of the conversations that happen in the vegan and animal advocacy realm are about how are you going to change one person's mind. I spend most of my time thinking about how are you going to change society's mind, and how do humans behave differently as constituents of a system rather than as individuals. So from that perspective, I would rather, if I'm going to have a conversation with someone, I would rather that they walk away from it having been forced to confront their own beliefs about their perceived superiority over animals than be convinced that they should go vegan soon or go plant-based soon for health reasons. The moment you take exploitation of animals off the table, and this can extend to so many issues beyond food, right? If we want to talk about service animals, vivisection, all these other little things that people tend to think will last longer than the use of animals for food. The moment you take researching on, doing your twisted psychological research on a monkey, the moment you take that option off the table, you'll find another option that works almost as well.